So I saw your content on Instagram like randomly, organically, like maybe a couple months ago, and I threw you a follow, and then I just have been like watching your content ever since. I know I reached out and we sent you some stuff,
Yeah.
but I think your content's really good. But when I did a deep dive last week, I noticed you have like an interesting situation going on in your comments because you're basically making content for people that like don't necessarily appreciate like expensive clothes, and so you'll post stuff and be like, "This is what I
Yeah.
think you should buy. This is what I think is really cool." And then I see in your comments people like, "Can you post some like why would I
They're
spend
like,
$500 on a
someone spend
tee?"
$100 a pair of shorts. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that's not something you like plan to have that happen, but like, how do you navigate that and create content that you think like basically recommend the right style, the stuff that you think is really good, but also be mindful that some people might not have the budget and stuff like that.
Yeah. So honestly, when it comes to my business, I technically have two separate businesses because I have the content and the influencing and the content creation, which is my Instagram and TikTok and hopefully YouTube soon. And then I have my styling business where I work one on one with clients, whether it's virtual or in person here in LA, doing their
Mm-hmm.
events, closet redos, things like that. So they're very separate and different. When it comes to styling for my clients, I don't necessarily think that if something is expensive, that it looks good. So I very much tailor what I'm styling people into the budget that they're wanting. It's like one of the first questions that I ask. I think that you can look really good without spending $100 on a pair of shorts. And I think if you want to spend $100 a pair of shorts, you can find some really great stuff too. That's it with the styling business. And then when it comes to the content, fashion is very subjective. People are going to hate. People are going to disagree. There's literally a 0% chance that I'm going to get everyone to agree with me. And when you understand that, it's freeing in a way because I'm just going to post what I think looks best and some people are really going to resonate with it and some people might not.
How do you deal with the comments though? So from people who will watch your videos and like you said, it is so subjective, right? Fashion's so subjective. So you
Yeah.
might recommend some products. Like I saw you just did like a shoe video for fall and like sneaker video for fall, and it's like a lot of people were in the comments, "Oh, this is like dated," or "These aren't. I don't like these." Do you just ignore it, or
Well,
do you take it into consideration?
you definitely have to have a little bit of a tough skin if you're going to put yourself out there on social media. But I think it's way better to be the person that's putting themselves out there and trying and posting and sharing your life and these things, as opposed to being the person that's just writing a nasty comment on someone else's page. But there's a difference, I think, between just people giving their fashion advice versus people actually being mean and hateful with these comments. So when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to people like disagreeing with me on certain things fashion related, I do look at those and I take that stuff into account. But again, at the end of the day, like I'm not going to be able to please anyone. So if there's a handful of people that don't like a shoe recommendation, I still think they look good and someone else is going to look good wearing them, in my opinion. So I think it's okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I do use the controversy to my advantage a little bit. If I'll do a lot of videos where it's like styles that I hate. It's a little bit
Mm-hmm.
clickbaity, but it gets those controversy and those conversations going. And if I can get people to even just talk about fashion and have guys have a conversation about what they think looks good, what they think doesn't look good, then it's a successful video. So I think sometimes it's good to have that controversy and not just posting stuff that you think other people are going to always just agree with, and posting your genuine opinions and feelings and watching people talk about this stuff.
You mentioned in one of your videos that your dad was a really dressed guy. Is he still really well dressed? Tell me more about your dad. Is
Oh,
he and like where did he get his sense of style from?
my dad, definitely, he's 65. He's still got it going on. He still loves the clothes. He has a very big shopping budget every month, to say the least. But he
Are you his
definitely played a huge
stylist or
role. He has his own opinions, but he definitely likes to send me photos of outfits, and I genuinely agree with all his picks. So he doesn't quite need my help because he's been doing this for a long time, but he likes to show me what he gets and stuff and get the Maddie G approval stamp. But I think like when it comes to him and his fashion, he obviously played a role in my life and just being interested in fashion and caring about it. But I think when it comes to a lot of guys, I think like the first step is honestly really just caring about your clothes and your fashion because so many times, especially for maybe some older guys that have become dads and husbands and have busy jobs, it just isn't a priority in their life. To make a general statement, I think women typically enjoy going to the mall a little bit more than your average guy. And so I think step one to having good style as a man is to simply to care and to try to be the guy that just maybe pays attention to someone else's outfit or what a celebrity is wearing. Oh, I liked that look on him, or going to the stores and seeing what's out there, maybe even reading an article. So I think he's just made it a priority in his life, and he's always wanted to look good and play that role and dress that part. And I think just caring and trying has really paid off for him, for sure. All his friends always, they make fun of him because he's like always the best dressed one on the golf course.
Totally. Yeah. You mentioned like trying and paying attention, but there's like an element to style of making it look like you're not trying that I think makes outfits look really good. So it's, yeah, you want to pay attention, but you also want to make it look like this is just something
like
I like threw
effortless
on.
and cool. Yeah. And that's a lot of times when I'm like styling people, that's one of the first things they say is they're like, I want to look cool and I want to have a good outfit, but I don't want to look like I'm that guy that tries really hard. So it's definitely a balance of finding stuff that you're like, that's a really good outfit, but not, whoa, what is he wearing? So you got to find that middle ground.
We've all been there where we've worn something that we like, we realize when we're wearing it or while we're out, we're like, this is just, I just don't feel comfortable in this, even though I thought it was going to look good. But you learn, it's like a learning process to putting together your style. At first, I'm sure for some of your clients, maybe it's like they're copying something that they like outfit, like literally head to toe. And then eventually you start to develop like your own style, and then you can pick a few things and then you iterate off of that. I'm assuming that's like your goal as like a stylist, is to get someone to get to that point, right?
A lot of people will come to me and they're like, basically help. They're starting from ground zero, which is honestly the funnest people to style, because I'm like, oh, this is like a new project. You're really going to have a life change happen. Because I think that like there's just so much power in feeling confident in the clothes that you wear. It really affects like what's on the inside when you feel good about what's on the outside. And, for me, it's a very rewarding feeling, I think, for people to be like, this outfit like got me the job I wanted. Or even like in my videos, I always start them with, hey, Kings. And I've had people reach out to me and they're like, thank you. Yeah, it's just like my cute little like intro and just being like, you guys are all kings. Yeah, that's my thing. And it's like the fact that you guys are here and trying and like wanting to look good is so amazing. And so for people to resonate with that and be like, yeah, just your little hey kings makes me feel good. That makes me feel good. And so it's very rewarding and it's really fun. I think it's really important to pay attention to what you represent and the clothes that you're wearing. And it says a lot about someone.
Do you have any opinions or do you spend any time with women's styling and women's fashion, or do you really focus only on men?
So right now I'm just doing men. I think maybe down the line that might be something that I'd want to introduce, but I worked for a men's celebrity stylist when I was in college for an internship. And so that was really where I just learned so much from that internship. And I was out in LA and I was doing really exciting errands. I was like going to Rodeo Drive, like loading up my car with boxes. It was very much like intern work, but it was really cool and exciting for me. And I feel like I learned a lot about how a man should dress and what brands they utilize, things that like I was doing online shopping on my girls' website. So I didn't really pay attention to that as much. And so I think that's really where I got my passion for men's fashion. And another thing is that like guys are a lot more easy to make look good. Like there's not girls, there's thousands of different outfit options that you can wear. It's like guys, a lot of times they really just need like a nice pair of pants and like a cool button down. So I like the fact that I can make these small changes for people. And it's very simple, but it's very effective. And yeah, so right now I'm just like sticking with the men's fashion. I really want to build it and grow that. And we'll see where it goes. I still shop women's clothes for myself and I'll help out some friends and they text me like, hey, I need a place to get a bathing suit or things like that. But yeah, right now I'm just focusing on my kings.
Are you like a kid Are you like a kid in a candy store now that you moved to LA? Are you like a kid in a candy store, which is all the shopping and all the thrift stores? Because you were in San Diego before, right?
So I was in Dallas. So I'm from San Diego and then I moved to Dallas for college, or I went to TCU for college and then moved to Dallas post grad. And then I actually backpacked Asia for the first 6 months of this year. I was doing all my work remotely, backpacking, traveling. And then I got back in July and just now have gotten settled in LA. But yeah, it's super exciting. We thrifted so many pieces for our apartment just by getting on TikTok and looking up like cool LA furniture thrifts. Like you TikTok is the best for getting any information if you're like anywhere. Like I always am
Totally.
like bagel places in LA. Like I'm always just like looking at
Yeah.
TikTok for reps.
It's like a search tool.
Yeah, no, it's so convenient. I love it. And it's always like it's a way better tool than going on like Google reviews or whatever because it's just like young people that like know what they're doing.
User generated content. Yeah, for sure.